All right, what's going on, guys? We're going to talk about building a list, and this will be the last video before I get serious again, because like the background is like a little bit messy, and this stuff kind of matters when you're building an audience. I've been talking about a lot of different things on the channel, stuff like this. I know I flip flop a lot on the channel. I flip flop a lot on this stuff. If you catch the information while it's hot, great, because you got all the skills you need. You got it for free. Everything's winning, but I'm going to show you guys how to basically do this the right way, because there is a right way to do this stuff to maximize results as well as to win. Okay, so here we go. Let's bring this up real quick. All right, so how's this video talking topic coming up? Let me just bring this up first. Okay, now building an audience list without basically building an audience list without being an expert and knowing why they always work. Okay, so the first thing is this. Okay, and I'm gonna write all this out and talk about it, but basically this is basically how you start to build a business. This whole thing is about people at the end of the day, and depending on what you believe, that's going to skew what you think about. Okay, now what do I mean by that? And I'm going to draw this out too, so you want to pay attention to this stuff, because this won't be my last freebie until basically I start to strategically start putting out content to start getting more business in the door, so I can buy more vacation houses and the other stuff I'm doing right now, right? Which is trying to figure out the secrets of the world and stuff right now, right? So, okay, so a lot of people, they have this idea where they want to start a business, and they think that YouTube is the answer, and getting a lot of views is the answer. They think that making TikTok videos is the answer, and then when big companies start to when fake businesses like these big finance companies, they're not really good business owners, but they end up having the ability to borrow money by the platform, so that way they're just making money off of you doing the hard labor. Okay, now people think that, people before, you could just run the ads and get paid. Now, after they buy the platform, I'm messing up. Okay, I'm messing up. All right, here we go. Hold on. Let me get my herbs in. Hold on. Let me get my herbs in order. Okay. I hope everybody's having a good morning. So, where's my herbs at, real quick? I need them. I don't have my glasses. Mom, where are my herbs at? I don't know. It's like I know I'm looking at it, but hold on. Okay, I got it. Never mind. Thanks, Mom. I do. She always moving stuff. You ever had a lady that just move stuff and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right. Oh, you have the lady move stuff around and you don't know where it's at no more. Okay, so actually, I think it's better if I just draw this out. But the video is talking about basically how to start building an audience, right? And it's important to know the old ways, right? Now, I made a video about this before, talking about how Sears did it and how they basically inserted the home with catalogs. It's the same thing as television or Facebook or all this other stuff, but you have to know the old ways, okay? So let's bring up the whiteboard. Also, say hi, don't be shy. Say hi, don't be shy. Okay, here we go. Got my herbs here. They'll probably be activated mid-video. My ADHD is on full effect. I've not taken my herbs in some time now. Okay. Okay, all right. So, you want to build a business, right? Now, building a business is pretty simple. It's all about promotions, okay? It's all about promotions. Promotions, okay? Some of this stuff might be misspelled or whatever. Just deal with it if you're new. If you are watch the videos already, you already know what the deal is. You know me, and you already know that I'm not going to really go into the effort of spelling everything correctly. I just want you to understand what's happening, okay? Because that's how some people interpret the information. Most people want the step-by-step, which really doesn't matter, okay? This doesn't matter. The step by step doesn't matter. Why does this not matter? Is because everything is actually unique and very particular. So this doesn't matter. The only thing that does matter is understanding process. Okay? This matters. Process matters. Step-by-step frameworks don't matter. Okay? This whole thing is about promotions. We have front-end promotions and we have back-end promotions. Okay? most people, they only do front end promotions. What kind of front end promotions are there? There's YouTube. That's what people think about. There's Facebook. There is, whatever, Instagram. I mean, it's all the same now. Insta, TikTok, whatever, right? People are posting videos online, and then as they're starting to build their audience, they think they're building an audience, right? As they're starting to build their audience, or what they think is an audience, what happens is they start to get like maybe 10K or 20K views or whatever it is that they're doing. And then they're hoping that people continue to watch the videos and that they will get paid. At some point, Facebook or YouTube was paying a certain amount of money, but you have to actually like make like 1 million views and even get like 10 grand or something, like some number like this. Okay. So people actually don't really know what they're doing. Okay. The whole point of building the audience is to actually make them offers on the back end. Okay. This is where your money is made. You have different people that want to call this different stuff, money multipliers, profit maximizers. These are all ways of communicating that you need to have something for these people to progress in. Okay. This is about the natural progression of human evolution and them trying to get towards alignment. Okay. There are some people who are going to want to go the full journey and some people who are not. Okay. Now, some people that if somebody doesn't know you and they are watching a video like this, they're just trying to watch the video to get something. So you know that they really don't care about you. Okay. So you have to have some information here that basically captures their interest. After you capture their interest, then you can start to essentially move them to the next step, move them to the next step, move them to the next step. Okay. And then finally, this is where the highest sale might be, right? There's different selling points at each of these parts. Okay. Now let's just say that you're trying to run a business. For me, the people watch the videos sometimes. Like right now, I just make these videos as like tools because I promised God I would like make these videos for people to help people, right? I'm actually going to turn this structurally into a business, which I already kind of have, but it's like I'm going to turn this into something more strategic, right? So I can buy more vacation houses, right? Now, the entry point is the YouTube video or the mail or the TikTok or whatever it is, right? It's just like video. Then what's the next point? The next point is that this is the front end. After people get familiar with you, they're supposed to click your link or something, and they're supposed to join your customer list, right? Once they're on your customer list, then the back end begins. Okay, so this is where you can start to email offers. You start to email offers, or you start to do other things, right? And finally, this is where basically the sale happens. All right. And I know I'm a little bit like jumbled right now, but all this spiritual stuff and all this other stuff has got me a little like jumbled. And but it's pretty much straightforward. So just understand this process, okay? So if we know that this is the process, let's just say that, for example, right now I'm going down this spiritual discovery of what my computer just froze. Okay. A spiritual journey of whatever's going on right now in the world, why it's happening, the reasons why it's happening, figuring out Jesus, figuring out life, God, or whatever, right? So what am I doing? I'm on YouTube and I'm doing research. I'm on TikTok, I'm doing research. I'm on Facebook, I'm doing research. I started at this point, right? Now, what would be the next gradual evolution to this? Right? What would be the next point? Okay, I'm getting all this free information, but I actually don't really know what's going on. What's the next step? The next step is for me now to go buy some things. Why? Because it depends on whether or not I want to go further, right? This is the free stuff. Here's paid stuff, right? Maybe it's not a ton of money. Maybe it's like $47. Maybe it's $7. Maybe it's $97. Could be $297, right? But it all depends, right? So that's why I said don't focus on the step by step. Focus on the process, okay? Now, after I start to buy these things, then what's the next step? To actually get on the phone with somebody. Get on the phone and start talking about what? Consulting, okay? And talk about, okay, what's happening, why it's happening. This might cost around $500 to $700 to $1,000, okay? At a time. What's after this? Then we're talking about a full curriculum, maybe partnership, maybe figuring out the secrets. Maybe I'm going to the Vatican underground or something. I don't know the answer, but now we're talking about high levels of money, maybe 100K, 200K, to figure out like the actual secrets, and now start building networks with other people who can kind of tell me what's really happening. Okay, so this is like the natural evolution to what you're going to go through, right? This might be after here is where the real answers are. This is where the real answers are. Okay, maybe it's not always 500,000 or 200,000, but I'm just giving you this journey, right? It may be a business journey. I'll talk about a business journey in a second. But all this stuff has to do with understanding how to build your audience, because you have to understand the process first. If you don't understand the process, you're going to be wasting your time, and you're going to be thinking that you're doing something and you're really doing nothing. All right. Now, before I go into, like, for example, what I do, I'm going to talk about, man, learn about this stuff and not focusing on persuasion. It really, like, maybe I sound good. Maybe I sound good to everybody else, but to me, I know that I am a little bit off. Like, I know I'm off, right? So anyways, let's just say we got two people before we go into my version of what I'm talking about. Let's say we have two different people, okay? We got this person, which is the person who thinks that you just need to build a YouTube audience and then they get paid through views and sponsorships, okay? Sponsorships, right? And then there's these guys who actually understand the real process, okay? Now, can this process be considered real as well? Yeah, but it just takes forever and it sucks, okay? It takes forever and it sucks. So, for example, you'll be like trying to work forever to get approved on the YouTube community. You'll try to wait to get on TikTok approved, right? You'll have 30,000 and you'll be making like $300 and you're just like, okay, it's paying my electric bill. That's great. There's really no difference between doing this and this. The only difference is that you don't know the full process. Okay, so this is where most people stop. They stop here. They say, look, I got this many views. I'm getting this much sponsorship and I'm doing this much stuff. The reason why this is not optimal is because most of the time what people do is they like try to catch trends. Okay. Now, since they're catching trends, they actually don't really understand who the audience person is. Remember I said this whole thing is about people. If we have, I don't know, 8 billion people, right? 8 billion people on the planet. Right now, what's hot right now? We got the e-files, right? We have, what else people are looking for right now? Something that probably has to do with Trump. Something that has to do with, you know who's. I'm not going to say who, but those guys. There's people that are looking up, trying to, Dan Bilzerian right now, he's talking about the who's. So people are like looking these things up and they want to watch it, okay? So these are like topics that we could talk about. There's still people just talking about anime, right? One Piece just came out last week. I know I watch anime a lot. So, talking about One Piece, hey, the new One Piece TV show is out, the TV series, as well as the manga, as well as this is out. Oh, you won't believe what the main character showed himself, like the main bad character, Emu, right? He showed himself on the anime. So, like, these are things you can talk about. Now, the point is that what you're doing is when you're talking about these topics is you're actually picking like a category, right? Some people call it like a niche or whatever, but you have to understand that most people don't really understand business. So you have to use particular language in order to understand what you're dealing with. First, you're dealing with a category. Then in this category, you can then deal with a niche. Okay? Niche. Okay? Now, what do I mean by that? What some people will say is just, oh, it's an anime. Anime is a niche. Anime is not a niche. Okay? It's just like a category or an industry. Right? There's plenty of things to talk about. You got an anime, just for a small example, or maybe cartoons, like people don't know about this stuff, right? But what do we have in anime? We have, we can talk about anime merchandise, right? We got anime merchandise. We have anime videos, right? There's anime overlays. There's anime TV shows. There's anime movies. Okay, and there's like I can just keep going down the list here. Okay, but the point is that this is like a category. It's the best way to think about it. Okay, if you think about it in any other way than this, you're going to fail probably, because you're going to be paying attention to the wrong words. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's Kai Cenat and he makes millions of dollars and all this other stuff. He's one of these guys. He's on this team. He's not on the small business team. This is where you make your money in real small business. These are like just TV guys. Okay, these are like influencers like Theo Von, Joe Rogan. They look like they're doing good, which they are doing good, but they are controlled by their sponsors. So get it? So they have to do whatever their sponsors say, and they probably have to work for the government and all this other like goofy stuff. If you just want to be an independent business owner, this is what you're doing. Okay, you want to make millions of dollars and just mind your business, and that's it. You don't have nobody messing with you. You don't have to do anything stupid. You're just making money. This is what I'm talking about. Just making money. Okay, which is good because you're helping people come into alignment. Okay, all right. Now I think my herbs are working. All right, let me take a sip of my apple juice, okay? Hope this stuff makes sense so far. Give me 1 second here, because all this stuff has to matter. If you don't understand this stuff, you're going to be wasting your time, okay? You got to forget the books back there, too. The baby just knocked them all over, man. Well, speaking of, here's you about to run in. She's going to beat me up, man. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Show me some love in the... Oh, mom saved the day. She closed the door. Show me some love in the comments, especially if you like the video. Okay, but it's just something, like I said, it's something I just promised to do, because I promised God I would do this stuff, right? And so I'm gonna give out a couple more freebies before we really get serious. Okay, so in these categories you have niches. Okay, you have something called a niche, and there's some people call them micro niche. Okay, they call them micro niches. Yeah, I'm not going to like write the whole thing, but you don't really have to think about it like that, okay? The more you think about it in terms of this, you're starting to dehumanize things. Just like when we're talking about building an audience in a list. You're dehumanizing people, okay? Let me be clear. All my content is based off of humans and being a good human and being a good person and trying to figure out the secrets of the world. The only way you're going to figure that out is to be a good human. Most people just want money. So if you just want money, what do you think you're trying to do? Oh, I'm making $50,000 a month. I'm making $100,000 a month on my list. You mean people that are paying you for a service? You see, there's plenty of people I talk about sometimes here, sometimes clients, sometimes other stuff, and I have to reframe how they think. Right now, what do I mean by that? I mean that people don't really understand what they're saying, and they're just saying things because it sounds right because somebody else said it. They don't actually understand what they are actually saying, because if they did, they would not do it. You know what I'm saying here? Okay, now what I mean by that? I mean that, for example, I was working with a client one time, and the client was a therapist. And since this client was a therapist, they could not understand why their clients, right? Their clients were so happy and excited to see them all the time. They just couldn't figure it out. They didn't really understand it. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't understand it? She's like, well, I can't really understand why they are excited with me, because it doesn't really make any sense. Like they don't really know me like that. They're just coming here to get help. So that's an opportunity now for me to kind of educate her and say, hey, look, you're actually changing these people's lives. Do you understand that? She's like, well, I don't really understand. Like, I'm just telling them what to do. Like, what's the big deal? This shows a level of detachment. Because she's so detached and she's in this healing place, she doesn't actually understand the emotional impact that she's having on others. Right? People go through their whole lives going through issues and having problems, right? That's why we all go to YouTube. That's why we all go to Google. That's why we all go to these platforms to try to get ideas and talk to each other. As we start to talk to each other, we start to come closer and closer to ourselves and to the best version of ourselves. That's all we're trying to do at the end of the day, okay? We're all trying to figure out what's going on. Man, I felt so good reading the manga last night, or anime last night. I want to read some more. I want to hear what other people have to say about it. So then you type it in. What are people saying about Luffy and his new One Piece gear or something or whatever? So they look it up and they're like, okay, wow, okay, this is cool, right? You have to understand people are human beings and they want to connect with others. That's like the whole point, is connection. So when you have a lot of divide and racial stuff or whatever, because you're watching regular trash content with regular people, right? You're watching regular people. Oh, you won't believe what Trump's in white people and blacks today. They're trying to ride the algorithm because they don't know how to actually do business. Okay, they don't know how to do business. So what do you have to do? You have to keep making people feel upset and making them wrong and all this other. You got to keep talking shit about people because they don't know what they're doing. If you know what you're doing, which we'll talk about in a second, you can build a real paying buyers list of people, meaning customers, aka develop relationships with people who are constantly going to want to hear your opinion on certain topics. Why? Because you're the trusted source. They trust you. But you can't do that if you're looking at them like a thing, like the therapist. Okay? So there's a lot of storytelling, a lot of this stuff matters, okay? Okay, here we go. All right, so these things are called micro niches, but the best thing to think about it is we're talking about a person's interests. Okay? A person's interests. What are they interested in? Okay, are they interested in politics? Are they interested in, I don't know, just laughing at people, like whatever it is, right? What are they interested in? So if it's anime, what are their interests? Their interests might be One Piece, right? They might watch other animes, but in particular, they watch One Piece. That's what we're talking about. So if they watch One Piece, what type of thing do we want to talk about One Piece? We want to talk about One Piece review, episode reviews. Do we want to talk about the merchandise reviews, TV reviews? Like, what do we want to discuss? Because it could be this, like your product is really helping this person figure out what they want to do, right? Maybe they want to buy. Maybe they want to buy One Piece merch, right? So that's what they want to buy. So all you have is One Piece merch, like that's it, right? You got a whole One Piece merch YouTube channel. That's it. It's all about One Piece merch. That's it, right? Nothing else. So this is how you have to make the channel. Okay, you have to make it just about one thing, right? Why? Because when the person searches it online, when they go to Google or YouTube or whatever it is they're going on, they're going to type it on the search bar. Your stuff is going to be here while everybody else is there, but you're going to be taking them off the platform onto your list. And while they're on your list, now they can then buy from your One Piece merch store, which is the back end. Understand? So, and like I said, this is very particular. You have to know all this stuff. It's not like you just do whatever. You have to do it very particularly. So, they watch your video. You take them offline, which is basically click the link below, join my list of whatever, blah, blah, blah. They join your list. Then you start making the emails to them via the offer. And just like that, you can start making money. Now, there's something called the total addressable market. Okay. This means that how many people can you actually serve in this market? So maybe there's not a lot of people that like, One Piece merch, right? Maybe there's not a lot. Maybe there's only 30,000, which is actually still fine. But the question is that how much of these people have money, and how much are they buying merch in order for you to have a sustainable lifestyle for yourself, right? That's why I tell you very quickly to pay off your house very quickly, pay off your car very quickly, and everything else just kind of use it towards building relationships, because there's no point in doing anything else, right? You're providing value to other people. You're helping them come into alignment by figuring out what they want, which is in this case One Piece merch, and then you will basically just do whatever from there, right? So if there's a list of 30,000 people, right here, when you're doing mainstream, you're talking about millions of people searching for the topic. So you'll get views, but the views don't matter if they're not going to go through this back end process here. If they're not going through this back end process, you're just going to have to keep constantly talking about new stupid stuff. This is exactly what tabloids are. Okay? This is why tabloids have a hard time making money. This is why other people have a hard time making money, but they make their money based off of what? Sponsorships. What are sponsorships? People who basically who want the back end of the sale. Okay? And we'll talk about that in a second too, okay? Now, I think I made a whole masterclass on this before, but I haven't made one in a while, so why not, right? Anyways, so the point is for me, for example, what I was doing before I took down the channel and all this other stuff and started mixing it up, people watch the YouTube video, right? They watch the YouTube videos, very structured YouTube videos, very particular YouTube videos, right? Maybe 5 or 10 things, okay? 5 or 10 things that the person would want to answer, or let's just say that they want to start a business. How do I start a business? How do I do this? How do I do that? You don't have to make 1 million videos to do well. You don't have to. These videos are an entry point into a certain sales process that these people should be going through, okay? Based off a particular interest. If you're not doing it this way, then you're having random results and you're wasting your time. All right? People don't know that, right? So even when you're doing a podcast, you could be just literally wasting your time. You could just be wasting your time because you're bringing in people who are pretty much not going to get here. They're not going to go to the back end, but guess what? You'll get a lot of views. But if people qualify success as views and not back end sales, then what's the point in doing it anyway? You're just wasting your time, in my opinion, right? You can try to do the sponsorship thing, but why when you can just make your own money? Doesn't really make any sense, right? So, let's just say for my business, there's a lot of kinds of business content. It could be financing, which I don't talk about, but I could talk about financing and what they do, how to buy houses with no money. So they go through this sales process here, all the way over here to a $50,000 program or something, or it's how to start a business with no money, but then they have money, right? So the whole point is that you don't want to be making videos for people that don't have money, because they don't have money, they can't buy anything. So you don't just want to be making videos for people who don't have anything to give you. If you're doing that, you're wasting your time, unless you just want to be nice like me right now and make these videos. Okay, you have to know this. If you don't know this, you're literally wasting your time. Okay, there's plenty of anime channels and all these other guys and music video channels and all this other stuff. They're literally wasting their time, and they don't know that they're wasting time, and they just can't figure it out, and everything's hard. And why? Because they're not paying for any like real information. You have to pay to actually know this stuff. Like, I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to actually like figure this stuff out, and I can make millions anytime I wanted to. Now, let's just say it was like buy houses with no money. Okay, boom, right? And then the final thing is like 50K or 100K or whatever. Here it could be something else. The point is that every particular entryway point has a sales process and a sales page. Okay, here these are going to have front end pages. Okay, they're going to have front end offers, front end pages. So you should have like something here to capture information. Okay, should have something here to capture information. Hey, tell me about what's going on, why it's happening, and it should filter them to make sure that they can get to this back end. So then finally you can then make them the big offer by setting a phone call, or by them buying something, buying a course or program or something, right? In a course or whatever, right? Some people don't like courses or whatever, but those are people that don't understand business. Okay, the whole reason you do the course is just another filtering method. Okay, it's another filtering method. Why? Because some of these people are not going to be able to pay me 10K, right? Or 50K. They don't have the money. So the only way to make sure that to know that how interested they are is that maybe they'll buy the course, right? So they'll buy the course for like $700 or $1,000 or whatever the number is. And then finally, after that, then we get on the phone and I can see whether or not they're qualified for this big number. Okay, but this is just basically just another qualification method. Okay, they're still going to pay money to get on the phone with me too, but it's the same thing. You have to like know this stuff. Okay, now I know this is a lot, but you have to like know all this stuff. If you don't know all this stuff, then you just kind of like you're literally just wasting your time. You don't know it, but you're just wasting your time. Okay, you can feel like you're doing something, but it's like it's going to take you like 80 years for no reason. Okay, now, so because of this, because you have to like know this too, you have to also understand that people are only thinking about views. If they're only thinking about views and not thinking about getting paid, okay, and I'm thinking about it. All right, now hold on, let me take a sip here. All right. Oh my goodness, man. See now you guys are becoming aware, right? Oh my goodness. Ooh, man. If you're liking the video, just like it, comment, say something. Don't be shy. Be regular, okay? I'm a regular guy, just like you. Okay. There's a time I didn't know this stuff either, right? And this is a pain in the ass too. I'll tell you that, man, because nobody's telling the truth. Right? Everybody's lying. Everybody's lying, or they're telling you something that's not real. I'm telling you right now. Everybody. Why? I don't know. They're shy. They don't know. I don't know. And I hate to be that way, but that's just what it is. Okay? It's just the whole game is for you not to know, so they're rich and you're not. And for the real people who do know, right? For the real people who do know, that's like what it is. But for the people actually trying to help people with these like real course creators, not like fake ones, you know, everybody's buying from the fake guys, you know, and that's what happens. And I'll talk about that really quick before we actually get into the video. Finish this, okay? So just like there's people who actually know what they're doing, and I'm telling you like the real thing, a lot of people don't know this. Okay, this is basically how you scale to millions with basically almost no money. Okay, then there's the other guys who's doing all this. Woo, whoa, over here, up, down, and then they're finally like 70 or 80 or 90, and then they, you know, it's like it's over, right? You know, they never figure it out. They don't figure it out because they're not paying. You get it? They're not paying. I made a video about that the other day. You pay for answers, okay? Now, for the people who make the courses, there's certain people out here who make the courses like me, right? I'll make a program. All my stuff is from A to B. Here's how you do this. Here's how you do that. Boom, boom, boom. And then there's other people who make the program who are trying to copy that actually don't know. So then you're still going down this stupid thing, but maybe you fix it here versus there. You get it? So just like there's me online to actually know what I'm talking about, somebody may watch this video. Somebody may watch this video and be like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing and I'm going to make money from it, right? So they try to capture as much as they can, and then they use ChatGPT and they put it in a program, and then you read it and then you're wondering why it doesn't work. It's because they're fake, okay? You need to actually talk to the real people. If you're not talking to real people who have really learned this process and really mastered this process, it really doesn't matter. That's why I keep saying that, like, this stuff is not really hard. The hard part is that you're not talking to real people. So if you're always listening to fake people all the time, you're never hearing the real thing. You can't really distinguish what's real, what's not real. You're going to be wasting your time, right? It's like people who talking about saving money. If anybody ever tells you saving money is the answer, they're lying to you. If anybody ever tells you to invest in the stock market, they're lying to you. Anybody tells you to invest in one of these, oh, you can invest in a security. Like, this is one guy online. I'm not going to say his name, but he's a finance guy, and he's always talking about how you can save money with your Roth or like your 401k. Just, they're lying, okay? They know you don't know what you're talking about. If they know you don't know what you're talking about, what do you think they're going to talk about? Stuff you don't, you think you're doing something. You get it? Oh, I got a 401k. Yeah. You don't know shit. It's not a problem, but you don't know. But they're like fucking with you, but you don't know it. And maybe it's not on purpose. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that you don't. It's like, okay. It's like telling a kid that Santa Claus is real. You know Santa Claus not real, but it's like cute to see the kid believe in it. If you just save your money, if you keep saving and putting in the S&P 500, man, it'll keep going up. Like, that's not true, man. What are you talking about? You're lying. But if you know that, then you can't be fooled. So you have to know who you're talking to, because there's different levels of sophistication each person is on. Meaning, how much do they know? This is the whole game. The whole game is about fucking with you until you can't figure it out. I don't know why. That's just what people do. This is stupid to me, but they want to fuck with you as long as possible so they can make as much money from you before you figure it out. Okay? And then there's other people that think that, there's a client I had, and then we'll go back into the video. Client I had, he was like, okay, I hate course creators. I hate this. I hate that, this, that, and the other. And I had to reframe what he thinks. I'm like, look, would you want to have, how many phone calls do you want to have in your business per month? He's like, well, I'm not really trying to have that many. I said, okay, well, how many is not that many? Well, I don't really want to have more than 20 phone calls a month of people that's actually going to buy. I said, okay, well, how do you think you can filter them? How do you think you can do that? Oh, well, I could just charge more or something. Or he didn't really know. He doesn't really know what he's doing, right? I'm like, look, okay. You got to entertain this stuff sometimes with people that don't know. And it's okay, but you have to entertain this shit sometimes, right? Because they don't know. People don't know. I know people don't know what they're looking at. So I have to constantly make sure that I'm being careful with them and making sure I'm not breaking their spirit or whatever. That's why I let people know that they're safe working with me, right? Like, hey, look, don't worry, I got your back. You don't have to worry, right? Now, he's like, well, they got these course creators, man. I bought so many courses and none of them did anything, this, that, and the other. I said, well, what kind of courses were they? Well, I brought this, I brought that, you're just going down the list. And I'm like, look, man, depending on who you're buying from, then that matters. Like, there's a lot of people right now buying from a very famous influencer and they still can't figure the shit out. Why? Because it's more about you and knowing what business you want to do and the self-development process than it is actually about the business. But people don't know that. People are not teaching you that. They're not saying, hey, you actually have to know yourself first, because anything you do after this process, like business is like the second step before knowing what you want to do. It's not like you just start a business. You have to start a business that's good for you. You have to know yourself, because you're going to give up. The whole point is not giving up, right? Anyways, I'm like, hey, look, the reason why these courses exist is because it might cost, and we'll bring that up on the camera right now real quick, okay? It might cost $2,000 for a sale. It costs $2,000 for a sale. In order for us to get this and the sale is actually like 10 grand, right? This is like the full sale, but it costs this much to get them on the phone to close them. Okay. You have to start working backwards. If it costs $2,000 for a sale, how can we start to break even on this? Right? How do we start to break even? How do we do that? We do that by charging maybe $1,000 for a course, or two payments of $1,000. Right? We got two payments for $1,000, and then we have our ads, which are maybe $30 or something like this per click on Google Ads or something, right? Whatever. Maybe this is roofs, maybe it's something else, but every time we spend it's $300 a click, $30 a click, and we're like, okay, we're getting $30 a click, but we don't know how many clicks it's going to take us to get a sale. So what we'll do is we'll put them through this program here, and we'll try to break even with this number, right? With $2,000. And then after that, it jumps to a phone call, and then finally we'll get a $2,000 sale. So the point is to kind of like make the acquisition process easier when you're using paid marketing. This is mainly for paid marketing. You can just make money off of course sales, but the point is that it's about paid marketing. Okay. I know this is like, a lot. Okay. Now, let's talk about the audience part now. Okay. Now that I went through all this stuff, we can actually talk about like the real thing. Okay. Because it's like, if you don't know this, then you're basically just wasting your time. Now, if you know that at one point, let's say TikTok was treating you right, right? TikTok was treating you right. Facebook was treating you right. Now they're not. Now they're saying you have to what? You have to use paid ads, which you should anyway, right? You should, but now you got to use TikTok ads or Facebook ads. The point is what? Just use your videos as a front end promotion to do what? Get them to the back end. So if you don't have a CRM, you don't have this stuff ready, then it doesn't really matter. Okay? So they're going to come in with the ad. After they come in with or the videos that you're structurally making to bring them through the process, like I talked about here, you basically make the videos, topics, talk about whatever you want to talk about, which is for the client, and you continuously make these videos. And as you make like 5 or 6 videos, you just put paid marketing behind them. Okay, you put paid marketing behind them. As you're putting paid marketing behind them, you'll then put them on the CRM, because some people will sign up. You make sure you do your call to action. Hey, right now I'm listening to a lot of spiritual stuff. So, hey, look, I talk a lot about the character Jesus, and how his history is not really what we think. If you want to find out more, you can click the link below and get the book on the secrets of whatever it is. Right? Or you can find my document that X, that whatever it is, right? And the point is that person now has paid $7 to get access to become on your list, right? So they're paying to be on your list. Now, for the back end, now that they're on your list, you can just basically send them emails, or you can send them direct mail, or you can send them whatever. But the point is that now you have a person who has paid, who has watched the video, and they are going through these filters so that way, actually, when you get the sale, it's going to be a slam dunk. Okay, it's going to be a slam dunk. By the time they jump on a call, it's already over. Okay, they're already ready to buy. Now, what I want to say here. Okay, so as far as building your list, this is how you do it. Okay, so you just make structured videos. You put some paid marketing behind it. You can use like $20 a day or so, and just put $20 a day. They'll start buying this maybe. And if they're not, then you can stop. Right? You test it for like a month, or whatever you want to test it as. Like I said, if you have an issue with any of this stuff, you can just call me or whatever, and we'll talk about it for money, okay, for pay, because I'm not talking for free. But okay, that's that way. Right now, the other way is to just make the content that people want to see, and hopefully you'll have people join your list. But then you don't really know whether or not they'll go towards the ascension process and start to buy the actual consulting. Let's say that you charge $500 for consulting. If you charge $500 for consulting, the people that pay $7 to watch your videos are more likely to pay $500 than the people not doing that, right? They're just watching the videos for free, and they're just commenting or doing whatever. That helps, but it doesn't really mean anything if they're not going to buy. So you have to understand, what's the point in making the video? What's the intention, right? So if you're just making regular videos just to do it, then you're really just wasting your time, unless you're going down the sponsorship route. And if you're doing that, you have to constantly keep doing it. It's like annoying and stupid. This is a waste of time. It literally is just a waste of time. Okay. Now, this is a website since you already know what's the point of getting a buyer in the first place, here is a website you can use. One second here. Now, some people think that this is not good data. They'll say that buying a list is like not good and all this other stuff. Like, they don't really know what it's like. Okay, so right here, you can get U.S. businesses. This is a company called Data Axle. They have new businesses, new homeowners. You can have all kinds of stuff here. You got to sign up and get a thing, but you get an account right here where you can pick the state that you want to be in. You can be in metros, whatever. You can pick what's the size of the business, and you can just pull this, right? Doesn't have to be Facebook ads or TikTok ads. You can just do this, right? You can just do this and get a list of people that are interested in watching your video, and then you can do paid marketing to them, or you can know where they're at and then just structurally run the ads, structurally make the videos. But I'm in personal belief that there's just no point in being in business unless you're running paid marketing. That's my personal belief, because you're just wasting your time. The whole point is to have as much control as possible over the sales process so you can have predictable income. You can't have predictable income if you're just making a video and hoping you make money this month. It doesn't work that way. You have to know how to run paid marketing. And if you don't, you need to work with somebody who does. And a lot of people don't know, because there's a lot to know, because essentially we're talking about scaling a business here, right? So you can kind of go here, just pick out all this stuff. You know, anytime I work with my clients or whatever, I kind of like go through this whenever I'm working with a noob, and I kind of showing them what's going on, right? You want their emails, you can get some business emails, okay? So it can be a trucking business, it can be a car business. It don't really matter what the business is, but you can just kind of make content based off of what it is, and then just do that, right? You can also pull interest based, right? Okay, people that are interested in weight loss, people that are interested in doing, I don't know, like what else is sex class or something, right? Okay, now let's try this one real quick. Okay, and this is why it's important to know the old ways. If you don't know the old ways, you're just going to be wasting your time. You got to know what's happening, man. If you don't know what's happening, it's over. I'm sorry. You're literally just wasting your time. Like, you're literally wasting your time. Okay, literally. Let's see here. Search term. No. So tired, man. All right, here we go. So here is Google Ads Planner, and Keywords Planner. So what you can do is you can type what's something we want to type in. Give me something in the chat real quick that I can type in. But right now we're gonna pick movers near me. Right, very simple keyword that people type in on Google. This is how many people type in the whole United States. Look at this. It's around $8 a click. Remember what I said earlier? $37 a click. Right. So let's say that you have a whole moving channel, or you have a whole. But let's talk about one piece. One piece merch. How many people are typing that in? Look how many people typing this in. Oh wait. There's 1,200 people typing this in per month on Google. And look at the clicks. The cost per clicks is around $1 a click. So the question is that can we figure out, right? If it's $1 a click or $2, let's just say it's $2 a click, right? Can we get 100 clicks? Okay. Can we get 100 clicks? Right? That'll be we spend $200. The question is that can we spend 100 clicks and then take them through the sales process? They click the link, they hit our landing page. After they hit our landing page, then we take them through the hopefully the sales process of something, right? Whatever it is, if it's a one-piece hat, merch, or just whatever it is, right? And they buy clothes or whatever it is, right? Hopefully, out of this $200, we can basically like 4x it or like 6x it, right? So maybe it'll be we'll make, and because when you're doing merch in certain businesses, it's like different. Let's see, you make $1,200, right? So every time you put in $200, you get $1,200, right? So then you start to like do the math, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to put in, $2,000 now. So now that'll be 2,000 times 6, and then we're making 12,000 a month. You get it, right? So you have to like kind of figure out these things, right? Now different niches or different people that have individual interests are going to be looking at a certain number of things, right? So for example, if it's merch, you can expect that to be a low margin business. It's a low margin business, okay? And if we're talking about real estate, these are high margin business, okay? You get it? Because the price is so big, let's say it's 300K, you're more likely to get a 10 to 50K payout, right? If a shirt is only $10, how much will you actually get paid for the shirt? Right? Maybe like $5, maybe $6, maybe $2. So you have to. It takes more sales to get here than it does to get here. So that's why it's good to position yourself in higher ticket products. Right now, just because you buy the merch doesn't mean there can't be other steps to where now you can develop a community. Right? You have a community of people that talk about these One Piece and One Piece merch, and they all wear their hats on Thursday, and you're starting to build a community. And now you make them pay $10 a month to stay in a group. Right? So how much do we need? 5,000 people, $10 a month. So you need 500 people. Out of these 500 people, you may set up an event. Now, hey, look, we're all doing a One Piece event. We're all going to wear our hats down the street, and we're just going to have fun or whatever, do the thing. Now, guess what? Now you charge $1,000 for this event. You're going to have food. You're going to have events or whatever. Out of this 500 people, we're going to try to do at least 30% conversions. So we're going to try to get 150 people. You get 150 people, times this by 1,000, you just made 150 grand, right? But you see how we're going through the same process? We're going through the same process. Right? And if you don't understand that, you're going to be wasting your time. You have to go through this process of understanding who is interested in the thing that you're offering. Right? Because it's really just about them developing and creating little worlds for them to live in. Right? People love spirituality. They love doing the thing, Ashe, brother. Right? Or they love the Israelite thing. That's the thing. There's a black thing there. There's white people who love, what is it? Who do white people love? They love Friends. They love the show Friends. They love what the fuck, man? Jerry Seinfeld, right? The King of Queens. That's like one of my favorite shows, right? So you have this King of Queens merch into King of Queens Club into retro TV watchers. That's $1,000. Like you can even come out with a watch party channel. Hey, look, we're all watching King of Queens this weekend on Friday. We meet up every Friday and we watch King of Queens. Like, how much is it? It's $1,000 for the whole year, but there's about like 50 of us. There's 50 to 60 of us, right? 60 people sitting around watching the same show at the same time. What are you building? You're building connection and community with others. Oh yeah, you're going to be on the watch club party? Yeah, okay. So as long as people keep coming, keep showing up, you just made 50,000 for that year, 50 to 60,000 for that year. Now you might be able to do that again for another thing, right? Hey, look, yeah, now that we are doing the King of Queens party, we're also having this other private pool party where 50 of us are going to actually meet up. Or maybe it's only 20. Maybe it's only 20 or 10 people, but it's $2,000, right? Just like that, and you made 200,000. Get it? All this stuff makes sense, right? But it's a lot, okay? It's a lot, but like you have to like know all of this stuff. If you don't know all this stuff, then you're, it's wasting time. Okay, hold on one second. So, for all this to say, how do you build a client audience list? It's about figuring out where people are at in the journey and figuring out what they find interesting. Okay, you can just make YouTube videos. You can make. Actually, I said I'll talk about the Sears project. So actually, I'll talk about that really quick before I close out. Okay, now, man, I hate to like erase this stuff, but all right, whatever. Okay, so when we're talking about Sears, right? And it took me a while to like figure out this stuff. It's like annoying because people keep making it something else. You got to just ignore everybody else and just listen to what I'm telling you, or the right people, because most people are not just going to do this for free. They're too busy making millions of dollars. I'm doing it because I promised God. That's why I'm doing it for free right now. You know what I'm saying? That's why I do this stuff for free sometimes, because I'm like, I promised God I do this, so I'm fulfilling my promise. So at Sears is basically a Amazon. That's basically all it was, right? It's Amazon, except not from the website. Now, before there was no internet. Okay, internet. Okay, there was no internet before, so that's why Amazon is the player it is now, because obviously they came on when the internet came on, and they probably got government funding and some other stuff too, but they are a player because of the internet. So before there was the internet, we had things called magazines. We had what? Stores, right? Stores. What else did we have? We have books. Bookstores, just trying to give you an idea. Okay, the point is that you have to really, it's all about what people are doing, what are they doing, and then you knowing what they're doing because you've done your research and you're jumping in front of the process. You're jumping in front of their experience. Okay. So what do I mean? They're just trying to go to the store to eat, right? They're not really like, they're trying to go to a restaurant to eat or something. Our job is to try to get their attention before they go to eat, right? So if they're at a restaurant, now we have like flyers on the table or something. Hey, you want to buy my stuff? Oh shit, right? What do you think that is? It's called an ad, okay? The thing that everybody hates, remember? The thing that's fake and lying and, hey, I hate ads. Oh, it's like you're supposed to love ads, right? You're supposed to love them. Right now, if you're listening to a fake business owner, they're going to tell you ads. I hate ads. I don't want to run ads. I don't want to have a course. I don't want to have anything because they're fake business owners. They're not real business owners. Well, I just think my audience wouldn't like that. Just tell them to shut up. Just shut up and get out the way, okay? Because they don't know what they're talking about, okay? All right. It's not about money. This is about helping people. We're helping them become their best selves, whatever that is. So, okay. So, for example, let's just say that we have a chef. This is a chef, or somebody who desires to be a chef one day, and we have done their research and we like learn that they are going to eat at this restaurant, not thinking anything, but we're going to put a chef ad or whatever. I don't know. Like, here's like the top cooking tips, whatever it is, at this restaurant, right? Hey, you ever thought about becoming your own chef? You know, like basically this could be like any store. It can be any store, any place. What matters is that we're interrupting their experience. Okay. We're interrupting them. We're figuring out what's happening and we're interrupting them. Okay. We're running our ad. After that, they're going to click the link because they are interested, right? Where there might be 10K people. Out of 10K people, we might only get 1,000 clicks or something, which is fine. We get 1,000 people who are clicked, which means what? We're showing interest. So they started the process. Boom. Right? And now, guess what? Hey, would you also want to buy this like book or like course or thing? It's like, well, here is $7. Here it is $197. Whatever, right? Boom. Out of 1,000 people, we got $7,000 here. Here, out of these 1,000 people, maybe only 500 or let's just say 350 people buy. Right? 350 people times 197. So you're making 70,000, right? So you made 70. I'll just say 75,000 here. And then finally, we jump on the phone to see if they're ready for the big kahuna, which is cooking school, right? They want to be a chef. So we want to teach them, right? We want to teach them how to be a chef. Cooking school for $5K. Okay? For $5K is cooking school, okay? And we get 20 new clients every single month, right? Boom. Times 50, what is it, 5K? So right there, we're making 100 grand, okay? Now, so the whole game is to really break even until you get to this point, but sometimes you can actually become profitable just from people wanting to learn. Now, why do you even think that courses matter in the first place before I even go to the serious thing again? It matters because people may not really be interested in this. Maybe they don't want to take the school. We're just offering the school. They don't have to buy it, but it's there for them. But in the meantime, guess what? We have an at-home cooking course for $197. Would you like that? Yeah, okay, well, go get it, right? Or if they're not interested in that, that's why we have the book. So we have different purchasing options for different base interests. Most people are going to buy the book, then they are going to take the course, then they are going to take this. Does it make sense? So it's like you're having different things for people that want to go down their own journey. This is their journey. It's their life. They want to figure out what's going on. Whether it's buying clothes, food, energy, drinks, it don't really matter what it is. They are trying to get to this future version of themselves, right? And I can talk about that on another video. So now let's talk about Sears. But actually, before we talk about Sears really quick, when we're talking about stores, right? If you're talking about stores, it's the same thing, whether or not you, I guess I got to explain it. So let's say we got a store. The reason why people have a store in a certain place is because they figured out that their buyer has to like walk by the place. So all you have to do is proper marketing, right? Most people don't really know all this other stuff, but this is as far as they go because most business owners are the same thing as regular YouTube guys. They don't really know what's going on. They're regular YouTube guys, they're regular TikTok guys. There's very particular ways to do marketing so that way you get a buyer that's ready or that's hot, right? And sometimes people aren't hot, so you're going to warm them up. So the point is that there's this way, right? Which is the typical traffic way, right? If you're doing it the traffic way, which is YouTube or Facebook or whatever, you're just making videos. It's the same thing. You're just interrupting their experience, right? Hey, you got an ad here on the window. Like 50% off, just come inside the house, right? Come inside the door. Boom. They come inside the door. They don't even know they're on the same path as this guy up here, right? They're going through the maze of the store, right? Here's the store. Here's the maze of stuff. And we want to give them a curated experience so that way they basically come out of here successful and on our way to the sale. Okay? So it doesn't matter if it's a store, if it's a magazine, what do you think you're doing? They're entering the magazine, going through the same process. They're reading the magazine. They think it's just a magazine. You get it? They think it's just a YouTube show. To them, they're just watching a YouTube show. They're not really learning that they're on this path to the thing that they want anyway. For the people who do want that, they'll get it. To the people who don't want it, they won't get it. That makes sense? Right? So if I'm making a video here talking about, hey, look, I can help people do X, Y, and Z. I can help you scale your business, help you grow your business, whatever, which I don't do on the channel like that. I just talk about my life because it's my newsletter. They would be going through the process like, damn, Carlos really knows what he's doing. I want to talk with him. I want to have a relationship with Carlos, right? That's really what this is, right? It's just me giving back, and then if people want to have a relationship with me, they can, right? You're going to have to pay, but this is a part of the process, and you can't work with everybody for free, okay? Now let's talk about Sears finally, all right? Now, what did Sears do? What method did they use, right? You're at home, and you're not spending any money. You're not doing anything. You're just at home, just minding your business, right? Sears said, okay, what can we do to make people come to Sears? We can have TV commercials, right? But in order to get to the TV commercial, they got to be watching the channel. So how do we get them to watch the channel? I don't know. Okay, well, tell you what, we need to somehow insert our way into their house. And what they do, they made a magazine. They sent you a free magazine. It's free. Don't worry, it's free magazine, guys. Just read it. Oh, look at all this stuff in the store. So you're turning the pages, and we're arousing that hidden desire inside you to go buy something, right? You're just minding your business, just laying around, doing nothing, probably happy. And guess what? We interrupted you with a beautiful, magazine to keep you busy, right? Now when you're sitting at the table with your wife, look what Sears had. They have a new chair. They got some sofas. It looks like they have some games. You got the baby picking it up. You just leave it on your, on your desk or whatever, right? So also we have another TV as well. So we have a TV. We have a TV in here. So guess what we can do? Now that we have the magazine here, we can say, hey, did you subscribe for our TV magazine? Our magazine. This, that, and the other, because we know that they watch, I made a video about this before talking about Nickelodeon, but let's say they watch Nickelodeon and they have basically ads on Nickelodeon during a commercial break. So the TV shows that are created are really just there for TV programming for ads. So that way other people can sell you stuff. You get it? It's like deep, right? You got to know this stuff. So if you know that, then you're like, okay, I just need to create some kind of entertainment thing, which is your YouTube video. So that way you can get people to pay for the ads. And then on top of that, they can then go through this process. They can sign up for your magazine. As they sign up for your magazine, then they can, guess what? Come into the store. So now that they came into the store, guess what can happen? We can have a customer service person come help them, right? Come help them from the store. And after that, they can be walking out with a nice sofa. Okay? Now, how much did it cost to print this magazine? It may only cost 30 cents per magazine. If we know it's 30 cents per magazine and the sofa costs $600, it's like, how much did it cost to really get this sofa sold? It costs 30 cents. You get it? So 30 cents per thing, right? And this is the kind of stuff you need to know. And Robin, what's up, man? You said, you had some Sears catalog? Yeah, nice. So if you know this stuff, you can then not be wasting your time building fake lists. Okay? Well, a lot of people, they're making content just for the hell of it. They're making podcast content. They're just doing whatever. Are these people going to go down the journey of buying something? If they're not, then they're a waste of money. This is why people think that podcasters are doing well. They are getting attention, but the attention doesn't really mean anything. It only means something to a business owner that doesn't understand how to buy customers. It doesn't matter. You don't know how to buy customers. You don't know how to buy, right? You need to be learning how to buy stuff on a list. You need to know how to basically do direct mail. You need to know whether it's email. What do these people respond to? What works best for them, right? And as you start to figure that out, you're like, okay, I think this is like it. Okay. So I hope this made sense. Let me just make sure, because I know I went all over the place with this video. Build a client list without being an expert. Yeah. Okay. And knowing why it always work. Okay. So I think I went over that. You can just buy a list. There's other business owners. Oh, let me just go to the whiteboard for this one. Okay. You're going to like this. And then I'll close out. Okay. It's a lot, man. So I said, man, you doing a real thing or you doing a fake thing, man? You gotta hold on. That's why I said. That's why it's really just better. Like, okay, imagine this, all right? Imagine this. I just made this whole video talking about like how to build your client list, right? So people come in here thinking, oh, it's gonna be like a 10-second video, and I could just watch it, and after that I'm fine. No, it's like kind of like a course almost, but it's not. It's not really a course because there's a lot of stuff that I don't have here, but I'm just giving you an idea of what's happening. But it takes years and years and years of information to learn. So you watch the video because you want to build your list, and what do? I could have something here where you sign up and whatever, but for me, it's just a phone call. Okay, you send me a text, you send me a phone call, right? Okay, we'll jump on the phone after I get $500 deposit because I don't want to waste any time because you're not serious. And then from here, basically, we work together on growing your business or a mentorship or like whatever it is you want to do, right? You want to be a mentee, you want to buy real estate, whatever, right? So after this, basically, it becomes a partnership. Okay, this is like my process. Okay, now this is what I'm using right now just for these like friendly, I don't care videos. Now, oh shit, I just forgot. What was it? What was I talking about just before this? Sears. I said you're gonna like this. The process. Oh yeah. Okay, all right. So the point is this, okay? If you know what you're doing and you know your person, right? I know people that's gonna watch my videos. They're gonna be new guys, okay? Nobody's gonna come here knowing what to do because that's how the videos are designed. The videos aren't designed, or at least when I talk about my life and stuff, they're designed for people who are having very particular problems that where I talk about my life, they'll hopefully resonate with it. And after that, then if they want to build a relationship with me, they can, right? But this is pretty much not engineered for optimal success like the videos I make. They're just for me to talk. It's for me to help you guys get into alignment. It's just for me to give back because I promise God, okay? Now, if I was going to use this as a business, I would just basically use it the same process, but I'd create very curated videos, very particular to the situation. As I create very particular videos to the situation, you go down the same process, and then I would be making more money from this YouTube channel. I make enough money in my regular business. I don't really make money from this channel because I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to help people. Okay. Now, if you know your person is having an issue, let's just say with confidence, right? They're having a confidence issue. Okay. You do the same stuff, but here's what I want you to think about. Remember what we're talking about? We're talking about people. They're human beings with issues. Where do human beings with issues go for answers? They go to YouTube, right? They go to Facebook. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Facebook groups. We're talking about YouTube videos. So we're talking about people that have podcasts and all this other stuff. We're talking about they're probably on Google looking for answers too. So these are all ways we can then begin to intercept their experience and then try to help them out. Right now, what about the people that own these things? There's people that own YouTube videos. There's people that own Facebook groups. People that own already built websites on Google. Guess what they have? Clients. They have client lists. They have people that you already work with. What can you do? What can you do? You call them up. You call them up. Hey, look, I have a business. I'm doing business consulting, or let's say that you have a junk removal business. You have junk removal. Okay, you got a junk removal business. Okay, you got a junk removal business. If you got a junk removal business, what kind of person needs junk removes? Probably somebody in the city. Probably, so we know that already, right? So we got somebody in the city, somebody who maybe an older person, maybe they're a hoarder. There's plenty of these like people out there, right? Maybe they're younger and they're moving, right? They're moving. Okay, now, what kind of people have these kind of businesses where they're helping people do moving or junk removal or whatever, right? Or whatever it is, sanitation, these kind of things. These are regular business owners. The question is that what kind of business do we have where we can say, hey, look, I know that you do, like I'm looking to build like a relationship right now. It's like, okay, well, what do you got? Well, I normally do like 50 junk removals a month. This person does 40. Another person does 150. You can have a relationship with all these people as long as it's not in conflict of interest, right? Meaning that there's no issues with each other, right? This is why I keep saying about relationships and alignment, man. Okay? You just go to them and you say, hey, look, I have a junk removal business, and these are movers. Maybe they're movers, right? These are movers. These are movers, right? In different parts of the city or something, right? Maybe this one does old people, maybe this one does young people. Don't really matter. What matters is that they are getting business in the door, right? And let's say that they're earning 100K on each month. You say, hey, look, we're basically a junk removal company, and we will remove the junk after you move it, so you don't have to. We'll make it easier on you. For them, or what you can do is you can say, hey, look, we know that you get a list of people that you've helped moved already. They probably maybe want junk removal. Are we able to run a campaign through you? Right? So some people call this JVing or whatever, but the point is that these people already have a list of companies that they already work with, or they do. It's just a people thing. The point is that you can just work with people. Just work with people. If you're working with people, it doesn't really, like, you don't really need a list. You just work with people. If I know that there's a pizza store down the street and they work with people between the ages of 30 to 40 and they feed them, right? I can say, okay, where are you getting your stuff from, or how much does this cost, or whatever it is. I try to, maybe I have it over dinner, like whatever. It doesn't really matter. The point is that I'm like, okay, they have a list of people that between the age of 40 and 50, or 30 and 40. These people also, how often do they buy? They buy every Friday? Yeah. Okay. Well, they probably may want a movie or something while they're eating this with their family. Like, do they have families? Yeah. Okay. Now, let's just say I had a family owned business where I'm like, okay, what do we do? We provide entertainment on Fridays or something. So I'm like, hey, could you give me a list of those people? Or maybe it's Thursdays or something. It don't really matter. The point is that they have a list already. So all you're doing is you're basically paying for their list, right? You're paying to advertise to their clients. You understand? You're paying to advertise to those clients. So they have a people from 40 to 30 in the area that order pizzas on Fridays and this, that, and the other. If you know that they're about to order pizza, they may, what do people like besides movies? Maybe a board games. We got board games, right? So now you say, hey, look, can I get these people? Yeah. Okay. Well, now in your ad, guess what you'll have? You'll have pizza with them, not them in particular, but you'll have people in the ads eating pizza. And then you'll have like, hey, have a great Friday with Monopoly with your pizza. It's a family game. It's great. Just like that is great. Like, you're done. You just got a whole list of customers right there without doing anything. For some of these people who are doing the spiritual stuff, right, online, I can just go to them. Hey, you're getting this many views. I want to know how many people are interested in this. Oh, well, here's like what I see right now. This, that, and the other. Okay, are you willing to sell me or do a promotion for me for like $100? Yeah, okay, boom. They'll do it. I'll see how it goes. Great. I'm getting leads in the door, this, that, and the other. Great. That's it. It's over, right? So you see here that you really don't really need to pay for marketing in a non-targeted sense. It's really just about properly targeting the right people. If you're not doing that, then it's over. I don't know if that made sense. I know this was a lot, and but yeah, that's what I wanted to do this. Okay, so anyway, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was an hour and some change, but the building a list is pretty simple, but the hard part is just knowing the truth, because people are not going to be telling you the truth and what to do and what to look at and the reason why to look at it. They're going to be telling you something else. Okay, all right. See that's filtered, unfiltered water right there. It's real water right here. Okay, real water. Okay, I'm not eating no more fake water. Yeah, exactly. When the glass bottles, we're back. Okay. So that's how you build a list. Okay, I know this was like a little bit long. I know this was a little bit everything, but I will be making more content like this on the channel coming up. But it's not going to be this long. It'll be more structured and strategic. But I just wanted to make this because it was just on my heart this morning. I was like, okay, let me tell people what to do, because what people are learning is not it. There's not it. Run ads and then it's over. It's like there's a lot more to it. It's about building these relationships, man. And if you're at your job, that's your list right there. Your relationship is keeping your job. What do? You keep your job. What do you do? Hey, I'm treating everybody to like dinner or something like this or whatever. You start building relationships with people. That's it. Yeah, I know I always have a job. Yeah, I'm about to get a raise this week. Like, am I? Yeah, why? I don't know. Like, You paying for dinner, you doing all the nice stuff. Hey, keep it up, okay? Buying them drinks, whatever you need, man. Say no. Okay, so anyway, that's it. I know I've been like a little off. I think I'm sick, and I've been sick for like the past 2 weeks. So, I don't know. All right, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.